with the many testimonies and many accounts that was given by doctors and private citizens, but also the questions that loomed on why is ivermectin not being allowed despite of all of these stories and not being given seemingly a thought even by the FDA and DOH. So these are the questions that we sought to answer through the meeting and the hearing that was conducted earlier. So there are several things. And in attendance with in the meeting is DG Domingo of FDA, joined by two of his Deputy Director Generals, DDG Ronald De Vera and DDG Oscar Gutierrez, and also Dr. Landrito and Dr. Agbayani of the coalition of doctors and citizens, together with the different associations and industry of chambers of pharmaceutical companies. No, they were all there together with the PCCI, the representatives from the business and private sector, the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industries. It was a very spirited discussion, and issues were raised very clearly. Everybody was given a chance. All organizations were given a chance to give their statement and positions, and an open discussion ensued right after. Now, let's get into the point, yung mga mahalaga pong mga issues, no? No, according to DG Domingo, as of the moment, the application for drug emergency use is the most convenient option. However, this only applies for drugs that are included in the COVID-19 treatment protocol, which is being given by the Department of Health. That's why he is recommending to take up the inclusion of ivermectin in the treatment protocol with the DOH. So, ang dahilan po na to is sa ngayon, ang ivermectin po ay hindi ho kabilang doon sa mga listahan ng mga gamot na ginagamit officially ng Department of Health para ho labanan ang COVID-19. Ngayon, meron hong maaari daw hong mag-compound ng sariling ivermectin, o sariling gamot ng mga pharmacies. Subalit ito po ay through the specific na prescription lamang ng ng mga doktor para sa kanilang pasyente. So parang ito po pa yung sinasabi nga natin, ang doktor ang humingi sa isang pharmacy na para gawin po ang gamot para ibigay sa kanilang mga kanilang mga pasyente. This is a very important information to understand, because there are pharmacies who are willing actually, or who did compound ivermectin in the past. Subalit nagkaroon ng confusion kasi nga yung iba daw po sa kanila ay pinatigil. So isa ho rin sa clarify natin na maaari sila at hindi sila dapat patigilin, subalit kinakailangan mag-maintain sila ng kanilang mga records para siguraduhin na hindi ho yun nagiging mass production na tinatawag na over-the-counter, which now becomes a jurisdiction under the FDA. So there was also an agreement that na magtutulungan at ika-clarify ho, no, ang mga nagko-compound na to ng mga pharmaceutical groups or mga pharmacy, na siguraduhin na alam nila and they are aware kung ano ang kinakailangan nilang i-maintain na records para hindi po ito nami-mistake na sila ay magmamass production without any doctor's request, para sa gayon, at least at that level, ay maaari hong tumuloy ang paggamit ng mga tao na umaasa po dito sa mahalagang gamot na ito, no, ng ivermectin. Also, we did encourage that because of the importance for a DOH inclusion of ivermectin in the treatment plan, ay magkaroon ho ng mas mabuting pag-uusap, no, ang mga proponents ng ivermectin, sila Dr. Alan Landrito at gayon din po ang CDC, para mas maipaliwanag, no, at ang ano po ang mga benepisyo po na to. And we also requested also that it would be endorsed for study immediately and possible inclusion. No, we are inviting the Department of Health again tomorrow for a meeting on this para makita ho natin kung bakit hindi ho kasamang ivermectin at maaari ho bang isama na. Dahil once admitted po sa tinatawag na treatment plan ng ivermectin, then maaari ho itong magkaroon na pumasok dun sa tinatawag na emergency use, no? Drugs for emergency use, which is mabilis at madali na lamang po ito, at maaari pong magkaroon ng mass production at mas marami pong tao ang marami gumamit. So Arta also will be making our recommendations and send it to the agencies concerned, the DOH, the FDA, and of course the Office of the President, at malalaman po ng mga tao ang aming pong recommendation pagkatapos po ng atin pong mga hearings na nakasunod, no? Also, ang maganda ho rito ay meron ho tayo mga local pharmaceutical companies and laboratories who expressed, at least two, who expressed that they will be willing to apply for the registration of ivermectin. Kasi ito rin ho yung isa mga issue na ating hong nilinaw sa mga local pharmaceutical groups. Bakit hindi sila nag-a-apply? Kung kaya sinasabi ho ng FDA ay wala naman ho nag-a-apply. So they will be willing actually, and magtutulong-tulong na po ang lahat dahil iisa lamang naman po at naging malinaw naman po isa ho ang atin pong direksyon dito ay makapagligtas ho ng mas maraming buhay at matigil po harinawa ang pandemya to sa pamamagitan ng pagtutulungan po ng mga eksperto, ng gobyerno, at gayon din po ng taong bayan. So with this, those are some of the key points that were discussed and was agreed upon, and we would be continuing our meeting tomorrow, and we would be inviting representatives from the DOH regarding the issue of including ivermectin in the treatment plan.
All right, DG. So we look forward to that meeting tomorrow with the Department of Health. But just to make Arta's position clear, what will be the role of Arta in this issue? Where does Arta stand on the ivermectin issue?
Our issue has always been about red tape, no? Excessive government bureaucracy, especially during the pandemic. Ang red tape sa araw ng pandemya, sa oras ng pandemya, nakamamatay. So, yan ho ang gusto ho natin malaman, no? Pag sinabi natin red tape, dapat yung necessary lamang na proseso at dapat proactive ang ating mga government offices. But we cannot jump into conclusions kasi na they are not, government is not a government agency in such a case, FDA or DOH, are not doing their job. Kailangan makita natin kung bakit hindi. Katulad niyan ay wala naman daw palang nag-a-apply. And inamin naman din ng industry na merong nagtanong pero wala ho talagang sumubok mag-file dahil ang sabi nila ay it would take so much time, ito'y mahabang proseso. At kung bakit mahabang proseso, dahil wala nga sa treatment plan at hindi ma-certify as for emergency use. So tinitingnan ho natin itong mga bagay na ito, kung alin ba lang ba talaga ang necessary at ano ba ang nagiging proactive pa ang bawat isa. Pag nakita po natin na meron mo talagang deliberate attempt na parang hadlangan ang mga bagay nito for no apparent reason, whether wittingly or by negligence, then that is already a matter that would be suitable for an enforcement of the Arta law, no, even an investigation and filing of cases. Pero for this at this juncture, ini-encourage din ho natin ng private sector, no, na magsumite. Wag ho nating hayaan na ayaw natin mag-file, ayaw natin mag-register, no, and then sasabihin natin napakahirap. So, yan po, no, inaantabayan na to ng Arta. Pag kumpleto na po ang application, na isubmit na po yan, then dun ho papasok, we will now be looking at it within the prescribed processing time ng Arta o ng batas, kung ito po'y magagampanan po nila. No? Yung tinatawag natin 3-7-20 days lamang, or kapag meron ho silang special na period according sa kanilang batas, then sisiguraduhin ho natin na magagawa po nila ito sa takdang panahon na iniligay po sa batas.
DG, while waiting for the conclusion of the hearings that you will be conducting in the future, in the succeeding days, what is the interim action of Arta on COVID-related issues, including this ivermectin issue? So what are the next steps of Arta on this?
First, dito muna sa ivermectin, Ria. Kinausap na natin kanina ang FDA na tulungan yung pharmacy na nagko-compound na para daw pinatigil. Kung sila naman ay walang binayolate, buksan. No, hindi ko sinasabi gumawa ng regulasyon, hindi ho, patupad natin ng tama. No, tulungan ho ninyo kung ano kailangan, kasi ang gusto lang naman ng mga to ay makatulong at makaligtas ng buhay. Hindi ho ito mga kriminal, pero ito po yung mga doktor na nagmamalasakit sa kanilang pasyente. And bagamat si DG Domingo ay lumakad na po noon doon sa meeting after an hour and a half na discussion, but the Deputy Director General Ronald De Vera did commit, no, na tutulungan itong pharmacy na ito. So isa ho yan. Pangalawa, ang Arta ay mas mamanmanan po ang lahat ng mga COVID-related na mga procurement, COVID-related na donation, at yung mga iba hong mga maaring mga platforms din po na makakatulong sa ating pag monitor, no, kung contact tracing and everything, kung bumibilis po ba, no, kung mabilis po bang naayos yung pagpoproseso na to ng mga documents. So Arta will also be considering the formation of a special task force specifically for COVID-related concerns on the procurement, donation, and all of the logistical needs natin. Kung ito ay bumabara at ito ay hindi umaandar ng in accordance to the national emergency. So ito po, no, ang amin itong pag-uusapan right after po na itong ating press conference, because nakita ho natin ang mas maikling na pangangailangan, lalo na kanina during the meeting.
At this point, we now open the floor for questions from the members of the media. Kindly please unmute. All right, I'll be reading some of the questions in the chat box. The first question, DG, is from Chris Crismundo of Philippine News Agency. Ilang pharma companies ang nagko-compound nitong ivermectin and ilan yung napatigil?
Meron lamang po akong alam na isa na isang pharmacy, no? Doctor, sila Dr. Homer Lim, na nakarating din po sa aming atensyon. And I think Dr. Homer Lim is also working with Dr. Landrito. And most of the ivermectin that was being produced are those na ibinibigay ni Dr. Landrito sa kanyang mga pasyente. So ito'y hindi ho sila gumagawa kung wala pong requirement ang mga doktor sa kanilang person. So isa po 'yon, yun po sila rin po ang siyang nakasama kanina sa meeting. Pero nananawagan din ho tayo kung meron hong ilang mga pharmacies na meron pong mga doktor na nagpapa-compound po sa kanila, no? At kayo po ay tinitreat na parang isang manufacturing company, which is different, no? Kapag manufacturing company kasi ikaw ay nagma-mass produce at kung ikaw naman ay hindi, makipag-ugnayan din po kayo sa Arta para kayo aming matulungan at linawin din po natin ito sa mga kinauukulang mga otoridad. So kanina ay meron lamang isa, no, na nagpunta in ay sila Dr. Homer Lim.
Okay, another question from Jenny Dongon, TV5. Jenny, please unmute. Jenny, you have the floor now. Please unmute.
Yes, sir. Good morning po. I'm Jenny po from TV5. Sir, clarification lang. Kasi before po ito, nagko-compound na si Dr. Landrito ng Ivermectin, pero nag-stop siya kasi may mga info na nag-raid yung FDA doon sa mga doctors na nag-distribute nito. So after po ba ng pag-uusap, pwede na silang mag-compound ulit?
Jenny, thank you for the question. That is the same concern that I had. No? First, inalam muna natin, Jenny, kung pwede nga sila mag-compound. Ang sabi sa atin ng FDA, pwede basta ito ay directly na ni-request ng isang doktor na i-compound. So meaning, dapat sila ay payagan. So yun din ang ating hiningi kanina sa FDA through the person ni DDG Ronald De Vera na in-endorse na natin sa kanya at si Dr. Homer Lim para sila ay makapag-proceed, no? Kasi sa ito mga to ay hindi naman to mga kriminal. Gusto lang naman ito tumulong, no, lalo nang gamutin ang kanilang mga pasyente. So Jenny, ito'y aantabayanan namin ang action, and we do hope that if it is not illegal, no, if it's not illegal and they're not violating anything, sila yung payagan na. No, payagan ng ang understanding namin doon, Jenny, is meron lang mga documentary requirements na hinahanap sa kanila dahil to make sure na this is not a manufacturing group, na ito lang ay talagang compounding pharmacy, no. So according sa kanila ay wala sila nung record na that would show noon. Pero we said na kung yan lang naman ang problema, tulungan na natin sila kasi hindi naman sila mass production na to eh.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir, our next question will be coming from J. Mark Dagala of DWIZ. May info po ba kayo kung bakit para sa animal use lamang ang naaprobahang Ivermectin na magamit sa bansa?
Thank you. Is it J. Mark? Thank you for the question.
Yes, J. Mark, sir.
J. Mark, I think although this would be better for FDA to answer, but I believe based on their records, and I think their records were automated in 2014, wala daw talagang nag-apply for human Ivermectin. Wala talaga sa kanila nag-apply kasi although Ivermectin is being used or maybe used for humans and also as a veterinary drug, it would really depend on certain dosages, kung ano ba ang human dosage at sa animal dosage. So yun ang una sa dahilan, no, may walang nag-apply talaga for CPR dito sa ating bansa for human Ivermectin. Although I believe that there were instances na may nag-donate sa Pilipinas ng Ivermectin in the past, no, na ito'y human Ivermectin in the past at ito'y ginamit din, no. Kaya nga sabi ko, kung ito'y nagamit na pala even in the remote past, baka pwedeng i-consider na din na ito'y safe at maaaring gamitin kasi nagamit na nga noon. Kung hindi siya safe, bakit natin pinagamit natin? So, pero walang current na application talaga for human ivermectin sa FDA. Yun din ang ating hiningi sa ating mga pharmaceutical companies, local pharmaceutical companies, at merong at least dalawa na nagsabi na they are willing to apply, at nagpapasalamat din tayo sa Lloyd Laboratories at sa Pascual Laboratories na who would be taking up the challenge, and mamatyagan natin na ito ay tumakbo ang kanilang application.
All right, sir. Another question from MJ Mondejar of SMNI. Kuya MJ, please go ahead. MJ Mondejar, please go ahead for your question to DG. Hello? Anyway, sir, we'll get back to MJ Mondejar, but here's another question from Mr. Bernie of Manila Bulletin. What are the two pharma that are willing to produce the ivermectin and how fast they can produce? How much is the investment required?
Miss Bernie, I think I did mention the Lloyd Laboratories and Pascual Laboratories. Kanina they confirmed that they are willing to take up the challenge to apply for the ivermectin. As to the capitalization and everything, I think ang ating gustong objective for their application ay kinakailangan sila pumasok doon sa tinatawag na DEU, no, yung Drug for Emergency Use, dahil mas mabilis ang proseso according sa FDA kung sila ay they would go through the route of the DEU rather than the compassionate use, no, or CSP, or compassionate permit. Now, pero there is a requirement in order for these laboratories to apply under the DEU. Kinakailangan sila ay ang ivermectin ay matanggap as one of the treatment drugs, no, part of the treatment plan ng DOH. Kaya nga gusto natin na maimbitahan ng DOH bukas para malaman na may posibilidad ba, no, na sila ang ivermectin ay makasama as a treatment doon sa kanilang treatment plan, para dito sa mag-a-apply na dalawang laboratories na to ay mas mabilis ang kanilang application using the DEU, no. As to the timelines, I don't have the details on the timelines, pero definitely according then both from the private sector, the pharmaceutical companies, mas mabilis talaga kapag dadaan dun sa DEU. Otherwise, they go through the regular process na tinatawag ng pagkuha ng CPR. No, so that's it. Pero I think they would even be asking the other stakeholders, no, yung other companies within their industry, kung sino pa ang willing tumulong at mag-apply. No, kaya nagpapasalamat din tayo sa kanila kasi nagtutulong-tulungan na itong mga laboratories na to instead na magkompetensya, no, sila ay nagtatanong sino pa ang willing na mag-apply.
Thank you, Manila Bulletin, for the question. Now we go back to MJ Mondejar of SMNI. MJ, go ahead.
DG, good morning. Doon sa Citizens Charter po ng Arta, ilang araw lamang po dapat yung pag-approve sa process po ng ivermectin sa FDA?
Salamat, MJ. Okay, alam natin normally yan ay 3720, pero kung hindi ako nagkakamali, ang CPR ay supposed to be, ito ay tumatagal ng not more than 20 days. If I'm not mistaken, 7 days. Pero ang challenge kasi dito, MJ, is kung mako-comply ba nila yung mga requirements, no? Kasi hindi na matatakbo yung period na yan, yung 3720, kung hindi naman kompleto ang mga requirements. And we cannot blame the government kung hindi kompleto ang requirements. Kaya ang tinitingnan natin dito, ano ba dun sa mga requirements ang pwede na nating tanggalin? Alin ba dito ang hindi mako-compromise ang safety ng taong bayan, and I think that is the reason for the DEU, no, for the drug emergency use process, na it's more streamlined kasi nagkaroon na rin ng go ahead from the Department of Health that this is part of the treatment plan, no. So pag pumasok yan at kumpleto na sila, whether ito ay DEU, whether ito ay regular CPR, it should not be more than 7 or 20 days, no, sa kanilang citizens charter.
Are you okay, MJ? Okay na? All right, next, Johnson Manabat of DZMM. Johnson, go ahead.
Good morning, DG.
Good morning, Sir Johnson.
Sir, for the record lang po, bakit po pumapasok si Arta ngayon? Meron po bang specific na nangyayaring red tape sa pagkuha ng EUA or approval from the Food and Drug Administration na nagpapabagal para magamit ng Ivermectin?
Thank you, Johnson, for the question. Bakit pumapasok si Arta? Kasi every time na merong assertion na katulad niyan na nagkakaroon daw ng bureaucratic red tape, in any forum na makuha ho namin, lalo na kung ito ay isinangguni sa amin, the CDC has definitely raised their concerns to Arta also. And also, ito ay bukod sa publicly ito yung napag-uusapan, pero ito din ay some of the matters and questions na raise na pagka meron kaming mga meeting with the pharmaceutical companies. So, yan ang dahilan that Arta motu proprio nagpatawag ho kami ng meeting na ito, no? Yun po ang dahilan. As to the internal na pumipigil sa loob, wala naman ho kaming ganong information. Pero pag meron ho tayong nakita sa ating mga meeting and there is really no legal basis for that, then that would really cause a full-blown investigation on that matter for a deliberate red tape na ginagawa, no? Sa ngayon, tinitingnan natin ano bang necessary sa hindi. Kasi kung makita natin na may reasonableness talaga dun sa requirements, then okay naman sa Arta. Pero kung makita natin na plain and simple that there's no reason for this, then it could lead to an investigation and filing of a case. Thank you, Johnson.
So, attorney, ang ibig pong sabihin, wala naman talagang actual case na red tape ang nangyayari within the Food and Drug Administration, kaya si Arta ay nakikiusap lamang kung pwedeng pabilisin ang proseso. Pero sabi nyo kanina, merong dalawang pharma company ang willing pa lamang to apply sa FDA. So ibig sabihin, wala pa silang dokumentong na isasubmit sa FDA, wala pa tayong pinag-uusapang proseso.
Wala pa, Johnson, wala pa talagang naka-apply. Pero meron sila mga concerns, no, kung gaano katagal aabutin. Pero ang sabi ko sa kanila, let us not speculate. Mag-file kayo para makita natin kung ano talaga, no? And I think yun din na sinasabi ni DG Domingo na walang nag-a-apply sa amin kaya hindi naman ito nagpo-proceed. Now, for me to say that there is no red tape happening, it's too soon for me to conclude that kasi ito ang dahilan ng ating hearing. Tinitingnan natin kung merong mga unnecessary requirements talaga na sila ini-exact. So malaman natin yan, it will be part of our findings and recommendation, Johnson.
Opo, last na lang po, DG. Ibig pong sabihin yung dalawang pharma company that are willing to apply sa FDA, yung pong kanilang magiging application ay para sa paggamit ng Ivermectin sa human, hindi po yung Ivermectin na design para sa hayop. Ganun po ba?
Yes, Johnson. Yeah, that's the understanding. It's the human Ivermectin na kanilang apply.
Thank you po.
DG, we have at least last 3 questions here. First from GMA DZBB, Alan Gatos, may impormasyon po ba ang Arta na mayroong mga pumipigil para makakuha ng permiso ang mga nagsusulong ng Ivermectin? Kung pakikinggan kasi ang mga DOH o ang DOH ay parati nilang sinasabi na wala pa talagang magpapatunay na epektibo ang gamot kontra COVID-19.
Meron na pala nung lean watching when sa
Before
sa
DG respond,
drugstore.
please mute.
Yung Chinese,
Kaya
yung
can you
Chinese
please,
na supplement na
everybody?
sinasabi ko sa iyo na yung iniinom ni Benhoy
Hold
na
on, DG.
nagka-COVID siya, 5 capsule ininom niya.
Okay. To
Alright, sir.
answer, is it Sir Alan who asked us that question?
Yes, DG.
Sir Alan, katulad ng sagot ko rin kay Sir Johnson, wala ho kaming information na merong literal na pumipigil. And I think what FDA also is mentioning is it's not part of the treatment plan, no? Ang amin ding iniisip, no, kaya inimbitahan namin ng FDA ang DOH bukas, ay imbitahan namin ng DOH bukas, is bakit hindi siya kasama sa treatment plan. No, ito ba ay kulang ang kanilang data at pagsusuri, walang international evidence. They're the experts on this, so we want to know what is the process for them to concluding. Are they taking into consideration lahat ng mga data na binibigay nila Dr. Alan, at nagkaroon na ba ng pag-uusap sila? No, kasi parang ang sinasabi is baka hindi iniisip na natin, baka hindi isinumite ng properly sa DOH for study and recommendation. Pero we are encouraging them and everyone for in fact to be more proactive siguro, no? Baka hindi na natin kailangan antayin na mag-submit sa atin. Patawag nyo na, no? Alamin na natin kung ito ay wonder drug or whatever para mailagay natin sa loob, no? Yun din ang ating hiniling sa FDA kanina, kasi hindi naman porket na walang nag-apply sa'yo, walang nag-file sa'yo, ay hindi mo maaaring i-research at ipatawag mismo ang mga sources na ito. So as to how far ang kanilang research on Ivermectin, malalaman natin bukas ito, Sir Alan, and we do hope na kung positive ang kanilang findings, at least there is a possibility na ito nga ay nakakapagpagaling, ay isama na nila ito.
Thank you, Sir Alan Gatos. Next question from DZRH Jana Abejero. Any information po ng presyo ng human Ivermectin? Is it true na 35 pesos per tablet lang po ito? Thank you.
I was told by, I think sila Dr. Alan, parang gano'n, 30-40 pesos per capsule, no? Nung sila ay nagpo-produce, nagko-compound pa. No, I don't know if it would be mass produced, no? Yun, kung gano'n nga mangyari, hindi ko alam kung ano magiging pricing nila, pero I do believe that parang gano'n ang nagiging presyo nila. No, 35 to 40 pesos per capsule. So yeah, that it is. Now, but if the pharma companies would be doing this on a massive scale, I think baka bababa pa ang presyo, no? Kasi by you know, by simple supply and demand, dapat bumaba siguro ang presyo na to sa pag ito yung magma-mass production.
And last but not the least, it's actually a clarification from Bernie Magkilat, Manila Bulletin again. Clarification on the two pharmas that will produce Ivermectin. Does this mean they will mass produce the drug already and only after the DOH includes the drug as treatment for COVID?
Thank you, Ma'am Bernie. Thank you for the clarification. Hindi pa sila mag-a-apply pa lamang. Itong dalawa, nag-commit po sila na sila mag-a-apply, and we did ask them during the hearing, are they willing? No? Is there somebody who is willing here to try and apply for the Ivermectin? So, nagsabi una yung isa, si Dr. Lloyd Malahadja, who is the president actually of the Chamber of Pharmaceutical Industries. He said, DG, we will apply. And then another laboratory said, DG, we will do, which is Paspas Laboratories, I believe. We will try, and then we would still talk to other companies, you know, local companies who would be willing, who might be willing to also do the application, no? So, pero kung ito ay magkaroon ng accreditation na ito ay part of the treatment plan, then their application will now be under the DEU, no, DEU. Pero otherwise, baka doon lang sa compassionate use sila or doon sa regular CPR process. No, so mahalaga po na makuha natin ang response ng DOH diyan kung sila ba ay willing, no, na ito'y ipasok sa kanilang treatment plan.
Thank you, media, for your questions. Now, I revert the floor to Arta Director General Jeremiah Belica for his closing remarks.
Thank you, Ria. Salamat sa mga kasamahan natin sa media. Hindi ko na pagkakahabaan. I think everything was propounded upon. Pero makaasa po kayo, we will update kayo sa mga mangyayaring susunod. Ang gusto ho ng aming opisina, nasang-ayon po sa direktiba ho ng ating Pangulo na wag ho pahirapan ng taong bayan. Ang labis na proseso na hindi naman kinakailangan, which actually could sometimes be contrary to the requirements of saving lives, ay dapat ho tanggalin. Subalit ang issue po na ito ay napaka-delicate, no? Because either way, less regulation pagdating sa gamot, baka kamatay. Too much regulation po sa gamot na mahusay at maganda ay makakamatay din po. Kaya po tayo nagiging diligent ho dito at tinitingnan ho natin ano po ang best way forward. And I think we're seeing right now, because of the meeting kanina, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. But now the tunnel, as we approach that light, should go 10 times faster than what we are accustomed to. Because panahon po ng pandemya, ang trend ng pagbabago laban sa red tape ay mas kinakailangan dahil ang red tape sa panahon ng pandemya ay nakamamatay. Salamat po.
That ends our press briefing. Thea, can you please show again our slide on the media directory? To our members of the media who attended our meeting or press briefing today, thank you so much. Before you leave our meeting room, can you kindly please fill out the media directory so we can update you from time to time of our activities? Thank you.